We'll work back.
Well, she got her daddy's car and she's cruising to the hamburger stand now. Seems she forgot all about the library like she told her old man now. And with the radio blasting, goes cruising as fast as she can now. And she'll have fun, fun, fun till daddy puts the TV away. Fun, fun till daddy puts the TV away. Well, the girl I'm gonna wake you up early 'cause I'm gonna take a ride with you. We're going down to the Honda shop, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Put on a ragged sweatshirt, I'll take you anywhere you want me to. It's alright, second gear, going right, third gear. Going tight, faster, it's alright. It's not a big motorcycle, just a groovy little motorbike. It's more fun than a barrel of mud with that two-wheel bike. We'll ride on out of town to any place I know you like. First gear, it's alright.
Yeah, it's basically a 426 Chrysler Hemi with all non-stock parts. I mean, it's got an aluminum block and a supercharger on it. The only thing that's really stock on the car is the cylinder heads. We have special valves, special crankshaft, special cam, pistons, rods. The motor itself is worth about $12,000, and it puts out, when everything's working right, about 2,000 horsepower.
You're number 2 in the world.
Qualified.
All right, we're going to have a look now at Gordy Bonin, and he's coming up against Bill Spivak. And welcome, Graham White.
Thank you, Tim. And of course, Bonin qualified in the number 1 spot with a fine 6:41 last night. Here we are with the first round of the Red Rooster Winston World Championship Series. 240, Gordy Bonin. Of course, doing the burnout to heat up the tires, heat up the track surface, looking for maximum traction here at Edmonton International Speedway.
Still called the bleach out, but they do not use bleach anymore.
No, it's straight water that they're using.
Right? Why the change? And how long ago did they implement the change?
A couple of years ago, and they found that water does just as well, the compound of the tires being as soft as they are, that all the drivers are really trying to do is heat up the tires, heat up the track surface. As you see Bill Spivak in the UAP car of Jeff Goodwin's pulling it, as we call the bleach box. How about the water box? Does that sound better?
I guess it's more timely. You hear the track announcers in the background.
Okay, the starter now pulling him into the starting line. Bonin in the left lane. Of course, Spivak with Jeff Goodwin's car in the right-hand lane.
Jerry Verhoff from Seattle, Washington.
Gordon Jenner giving the instructions to Bill Spivak. Final instructions prior to staging the cars. The cars pull up to the starting line.
Into the lights. For you down the top end of the track, we will give you who's got the advantage coming out of the hole.
Okay, they're off, and it looks like Bonin is going to... Spivak getting out of shape slightly. Bonin pulls ahead, and he runs through with a fine 6.
That might be new to drag racing. Probably wondering why the false starts, why the jerk motion up to the line, that sort of thing.
It's all a matter of trying to get heat into your engine. The hotter the engine gets, of course, the more power it develops. You're also trying to heat up the tires and the track surface, looking for traction. Drag racing is strictly a traction-type sport, putting 2,000 horsepower to the starting line and want to go from point A to point B in over 200 miles an hour in less than 6 seconds or in the 6-second area. So you're very reliant on, of course, power and traction, and that's what they're doing. They're heating up the motors, heating up the tires. Nitromethane is actually not a very volatile fuel until it's under heat and compression, and that's what these guys are doing. Heat up the cylinder temperature, and then the nitro actually turns into something that you could maybe compare to dynamite. It explodes in the motor.
This is Steve Leach from Artesia, California in the black car. At the bottom of your screen, top of the screen, is Joe Clement from Washington, Bothell, Washington. And Graham Light will pick it up from there.
Okay, Clement is staged. We're just waiting for Steve Leach to pull up to the starting line. Second pair of cars in the first round of Funny Car Eliminator at the Red Rooster Winston World Championship Series. There you see the stage lights, and they're off. Both cars having a little traction problem, swaying from side to side as Leach goes through first with a 7:15 to a 7:17 for Joe Clement. So Steve Leach will go into the 32-year-old. Also the number 2 qualifier, Tim, so he's probably the one that is going to give Bonin the hardest fight today. Luppy, the number 6 qualifier.
Luppy's the old man of the funny car racers today, 35 years old.
Well, that's old. That's older than me. Not that much.
Luppy with his burnout.
The racer.
Here they come. Edging up to the line. You might explain the Christmas tree working.
Well, there's 2 beams of lights on the starting line, Tim, and the first one is an indication that you're getting close to the starting line. It's called the pre-stage light. The car's front wheels break the beam of light. It puts a little bulb on the very top of the tree. It says pre-stage. There you see it there. And the bottom one is the stage light. They're both on now. The car's staged. There goes the green. Miller getting out of shape, almost hitting the guardrail. Luppy's ahead. Miller's coming on fast.
Miller's got it.
Boy, was that close. Miller goes through to 795 to Luppy's 783. Luppy actually went quicker, and I'll just explain how they do that is the timing clocks don't start until the car actually leaves the starting line. And so this would be a case that Miller did leave the starting line first. Luppy actually ran the distance quicker than Miller, but of course the drag race is won by who crosses the finish line first, and Miller did that. Ran 207.85 miles per hour. Now the final pair of cars of the first round of Funny Car Eliminator here at the Red Rooster Winston World Championship. Bob Kaepernick out of Edmonton. Nitro Nick Harmon.
Winning that last race, Mike Miller will go up against either Kaepernick or Harmon.
That's right. Kaepernick at the top of your screen. Nitro Nick Harmon from Oregon in the bottom of your screen. Brand new car for Kaepernick this year. Of course, last year he drove Jeff Goodwin's UAP Associate car.
The hometown boy, Kaepernick, from Edmonton.
Sponsored by Dutch Jewelers, and Ed Greco is involved in the car also. As there goes the lights. Kaepernick getting out of shape, heading towards center line, but ooh. Nick Harmon, it looked like it scared him. He shut it off. Kaepernick, he goes through first for the win. A 797, well off the pace, and Harmon with a 897.
Welcome to
Jimmy Johnson with the Carfast car. It's Keith Faulkner out of Edmonton. First round of Pro Comp Eliminator. Red Rooster World Championship Series, Edmonton International Speedway. These cars develop about 1,500 horsepower. Running in the 6-second area at right around 200 miles an hour, Tim.
That is in opposition to the funny cars who you mentioned before that run at about 2,000 horsepower.
Right.
That's a lot of energy.
Both cars are pre-staged. Jim Johnson staged. Keith Faulkner staged. There's the lights. And what a close race this is, but it looks like Johnson's ahead as he goes through with an elapsed time 6.90 seconds, 198 miles an hour, to Keith Faulkner's 7.18, 193 miles an hour. So.
You notice that nowadays the engines are behind the driver. In the old days they were in front. Why that change?
A new concept. It's a better weight distribution, plus it's a lot safer for the driver. You're sitting in front of all the chances of fire or pieces being kicked back. And here they go. Bucky Austin against Kenny Sitko. Tim, it's a close one, but Bucky Austin pulls ahead with an elapsed time 6.95, 195 miles an hour, to Kenny Sitko's losing 7.31 at 181.
So in the next round you're going to see Jimmy
Explaining
Johnson.
a few minutes ago, we do run different classes of cars in Pro Comp, all on a heads-up basis. AA altered, Chevrolet powered. Good-looking car.
Okay, starter Ray Rice in between the cars.
I guess we can't bet on television.
Looking over Bramley.
I don't think so.
Bramley.
The bet is, I don't know. You're the TV guy. I'm not.
I just thought about that one. The bet is officially on.
Okay. There they go. There goes the lights. Davenport on the left of your screen, Bramley on the right hand. But boy, this is a close race, but it looks like Davenport's ahead as he goes through with an elapsed time 7.10, 194 miles an hour. To Brent Bramley's losing 7.32, 183 miles an hour. Doesn't cars basically look just like a top fuel dragster, the wing on the back. Actually, they're identical, except that they use methanol alcohol instead of nitromethane.
Both coming into the lights. Breeze lit up for
They're getting ready.
Joyce Everett.
Race is at hand. American against Canadian. Wayne Bennett, the right-hand lane. Severance on the left-hand side of your screen. There goes the three.
Midway down.
Severance goes through with a 6.87, 200 miles an hour, to a 7.09, 191. Looks like the first two out, the Van Cleve entry from Boise, Washington, the B Factory, or Boise, Idaho, I should say, the B Factory experimental car. Jim Van Cleve doing the driving. Against Jim Water with a C Factory experimental. In Comp Eliminator, we go into the 5 amber tree. And we do have handicaps where one car will leave the starting line first, and the faster car will have to play catch-up. In this class, Jim Water, the car at the top of your screen, will get the head start over Jim Van Cleve. See the lights come down, and there goes Jim Water, and then Van Cleve having to play catch-up with his B Factory experimental car. Doesn't look like he's going to do it. Jim Water going through the top end first with an elapsed time, 9.79 seconds, 134 miles per hour. Eliminator has a mixture of many classes of drag racing. Small dragsters, altered, factory experimental cars. All cars burning strictly gasoline. No alcohol or nitromethane allowed in these classes. Roy Burke from someplace called Milwaukee, Oregon. Mike Furter out of the Seattle area. Three comes down, full body car getting the head start over the dragster. Dragster having to play catch-up. First round of Comp Eliminator. Winston, Red Rooster World Championship Series. And the dragster goes through first with an elapsed time 9.21 seconds, 145 miles per hour, so he advances to the next. Cars inching into the staging lights. Two lights on the top, of course, the 3 stage lights. An indication that the cars are close to the actual starting line. Hit the starting line, the stage light goes on. The dragster is staged. Steve Stoughton pulling up, and he is now staged. There comes the tree. You see the car on the left.